Thank you for clicking on this video, my movie peeps. I've got a couple of news stories to tell you, so let's get into them. Some of the news we'll be discussing here today, guys, is we have Jonathan Majors Kang reacting to the news of Marvel replacing him. We have story tidbits of Scream 7 coming together. Are we excited? Along with looking at some of the set photos for the Fantastic Four and some details that have been released. And that along with so much more, so you guys know the drill. Leave your opinions down below, timestamps in the description, and you're freaking beautiful, all right? Don't forget that. Except you, Marvin. Yeah. Whew. I bet if your name's Marvin, you are freaking out right now. But first, I want to go ahead and thank sponsor of today's video, Helix Mattress. Helix is a premium mattress that's customized to fit your needs and is conveniently shipped to your door. When looking in to get my Helix, I went to go take my sleeper quiz to decide what mattress would be best suited for my needs and body type. After answering a quick few simple questions, I landed on the Helix Midnight. The reason this turned out to be best for my needs is because I end up sleeping on my side, and this has a lot of support for that. And you know, when I first got sponsored by Helix, I was only using it for a couple of days, which was awesome, but now that it's been a couple of months, it's still pretty awesome. The Glacio Tex cooling that the mattress has really kept me colder in this hot Texas weather. Cannot tell you how hot it is out here. And if you're still nervous at all to try it, Helix does offer a 100-night sleep trial, so you get more than 3 months to make sure you love it. The awesome thing about Helix is they offer free shipping in the US, a 10-year warranty, financing options, along with flexible payment plans for those who need it. I love my Helix mattress, and I think you would too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out Helix Sleep. Their 4th of July sale is running now. It's the perfect time to upgrade your sleep with 30% off Elite or Luxe mattress plus 2 free pillows, or take 20% off site-wide. Click the link below or go to Helix Sleep/3C Films. By supporting Helix, you'll not only get yourself a good night's sleep, but you'll also be supporting my channel, and that means a lot. Thank you again to Helix Sleep for sponsoring today's video. All right, starting off kind of light here. I'm not sure how many of you guys are excited for this, but I'm really looking forward to it. The reboot/sequel for I Know What You Did Last Summer. You might have seen the obvious Easter egg Sony left behind in Madam Web, because that's the only worthwhile Easter egg in that movie. But they currently do have a release date of July 18th, 2025, and some details have been scrounging around that's got the community excited. For one, the cast was let out a couple of days ago. I would have talked about it whenever it got announced, but man, this cast just made me feel a little old. Out of all these beautiful faces attached to the new I Know What You Did Last Summer movie, I really only recognize one, and that's Camila Mendes, and that's mainly because she's a star on Riverdale, and I did end up watching the first season of Riverdale way back when. Don't judge me, I thought it was going to be the hottest, coolest thing out there. I turned out to be so wrong. But one of the biggest things that got the horror community stirring about this upcoming movie is there was rumblings going around that they were going to ignore the 2 other sequels, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer and I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, and instead make this movie a direct sequel to the very first one. Now, as a fan of the first 2 movies, I was kind of upset by that. I have a soft spot for I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Although Jack Black plays an annoying character in that movie, I thought that film was pretty fun. I really love these first 2 entries, and they're kind of comfort horror movies for me, which is one of the main reasons I'm really looking forward to this movie. But thankfully, the director of the upcoming movie did say it's definitely not I Still Know What You Did Last Summer is canon. Hope this helps. And that's not only got a lot of people excited because Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt are in talks to return, but they also hope that means Brandy will be coming back. All in all, with this update, it just let me know there is a fan base out there excited for this movie, clamoring for it to happen. You know, we talk about all these franchises that got long-running returning sequels, whether it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's a Halloween, Scream, but I'm curious of the size of audience that'll actually return for I Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm not gonna say they have the ultimate star power here. Well, there's definitely a lot of familiar faces. I don't know if they have their own Jenna Ortega or Dylan Minnette, which I would say were newer faces brought into the franchise that at the time were decent draws in. My other big concern with this is I just hope it doesn't end up being a repeat of the Halloween 2018 formula, bringing in legacy characters, new faces, just retreading old storylines and not really doing something new. But nevertheless, for those of you asking, I am still looking forward to this. I just can't wait to see some footage and the vibe and style they go with. And well, since we're talking about slashers and whatnot, let's talk about one that I know a lot of us are waiting for some final big update on, Scream 7. Well, I finally decided to try and put the controversy aside and just be excited for Neve Campbell and Kevin Williamson, 2 people who have been part of this franchise since the very beginning. I've still found it hard to get excited for anything they throw our way just now. Some of the recent updates that we have gotten with Scream 7 is, for one, we've seemingly got the confirmation that Courtney Cox will be part of the movie, which should be no surprise. She loves this franchise and and just always seems to be down with it. The only real detail that we got is apparently she's training with Jennifer Aniston and is trying to get in tip-top shape for this movie. I guess she took her last fight with Ghostface very personal and is want to beat him up Rocky style for the next one. But kind of just recently, the biggest update that we got that does clear up some confusion is Neve Campbell was doing a couple of interviews with different outlets where she makes it very clear Scream 7 is a Sidney Prescott focused story.
They pitched me the concept. I'm getting the script in the next couple of days. The concept is great, and we will be following Sidney Prescott. Along
with this statement, she does tease some oldie cast members will be coming in, along with some newer faces.
And we will have some of the oldies as well, and some great new people.
She also compares Sidney's journey in here to Jamie Lee Curtis's journey as Laurie Strode in the latest entry, Halloween Ends, which you could take that to mean whatever you want, whether that's a legacy character coming in and, you know, finishing off their story. Will Scream 7 be the last Sidney Prescott story or something else? I'm not sure. Look, the reason this clears up some confusion is because there were some conflicting reports on whether Sidney would be the main star or they'd have other new faces alongside Sidney and they'd share the spotlight. When to me, it seems obvious, trying to win back a lot of the fan base that still cares about this movie, you need to bring Sidney in there, and that's also why you got Kevin Williamson directing it. But I guess to me more it was, you know, Neve Campbell saying that she's heard the concept, that they pitched the idea, and hopefully that's just the knockout part, because that's the only thing to me that could save this movie. I still think it's so crazy they built up these fresh new cast members, actually passed the torch successfully in my opinion, which I think is so hard to do, and now they're backtracking because of a couple of mistakes made by the studio. The story, the Ghostface, the reveal, basically everything about this movie outside of Sidney Prescott is gonna be the thing that makes or breaks it for me. It's also being reported that the movie will begin filming December, so that's when we can expect to start seeing, you know, some set photos, more casting, and other things for the movie. But yeah, Sidney is the main focus. I wish it nothing but the best, but I have yet to hear that super awesome piece of news attached to the movie that flips me to the excited side. Right now, I'm still on the hesitant side. What about you guys? Moving on here, let's talk a little bit about the Fantastic Four, because although there's a lot of controversy going on with the upcoming Avenger movies and the villain that they've chosen for those films, seems like most people are super excited for the Fantastic Four. And I don't blame them, man. Just even that flying blimp they showed off at Comic-Con, it has me so intrigued to see that retro futuristic 1960s that they're building up. And many of you might have even seen the leaked trailer and promo going around, which I wish I could show you, but after getting hit by that Minecraft video a couple weeks back, can't risk showing you any more leaks for a while. But hopefully this one is safe, because we did get a user online, Unbox PhD, who managed to get aerial shots of Marvel actually building the sets for the Fantastic Four. And man, is it so cool to see them do this kind of stuff for this movie. This is like a big film for Marvel, you know. Deadpool and Wolverine is one thing, these Avenger movies are another thing, but I think people are excited for an MCU Fantastic Four movie, and just seeing this level of work go into it, man, I am pumped. Just seeing that one Baxter building with the four from up above, oh, that thing's gonna look gorgeous in the movie. Another piece of news that is floating around right now from a reliable source, the Cosmic Circus, that has gotten stuff right in the past, they did let us know this detail about Galactus in the Fantastic Four movie, where they say here, the Fantastic Four first steps will reportedly reveal the Galactus is one of a kind in the entire multiverse with no variants, similar to America Chavez, who also has no variants in the multiverse. That's an intriguing detail to add. I gotta admit, there's so much about the Fantastic Four and it piquing my curiosity and how it's going to relate to these next couple of MCU movies leading to Avengers, because I think the Fantastic Four has to be the biggest one that sets us up for Avengers Doomsday. Like, I totally believe the reports going around that the end credit or post-credit scene of the Fantastic Four is going to be Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom being introduced or setting up his evil plan for that Avenger film. And so almost every detail being told about this movie, I feel like, is this a grander step to something else? Is Galactus being a one-of-a-kind being that only exists in one universe? Will that be something crucial to the plot of the Fantastic Four? It also makes you just start to think about all these other confusing terms that they've brought into the multiverse that some people are loving, some people hate. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine introduced the concepts of anchor beings, right? That's a character that when they die in a universe, that timeline starts to die off.
And you've always seen the tremendous potential in this character, and because of that, you become the anchor of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You become the anchor. You become the anchor of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the only actor capable of guiding us through the madness of the multiverse.
We have Nexus Point beings, which Scarlet Witch is one of them, and that concept was introduced in WandaVision. If you remember in the What If series, they introduced fixed point events, or what they call absolute points. This is an event in a timeline that is meant to happen no matter what, and this was Doctor Strange losing the love of his life over and over. It's like all these things, man, that the MCU's introduced, and I'm like, is it gonna come to a head and be answered in Avengers Doomsday? Are we gonna know why Thor was crying? Okay, Ryan Reynolds teased that he knows. Will we know? Just insane stuff, and I feel like they barely have any projects to have it all make sense by the time we get Doomsday, but we'll see. So far right now, though, with all these things going on, how are you feeling about the Fantastic Four, and do you think it'll be a satisfying build-up to Avengers Doomsday? Bringing us here now to talk about Jonathan Majors reacting to the news that Marvel has replaced him with Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Now, this wasn't something I thought really needed to be talked about or addressed because I felt it was obvious. No matter what the opinion of Jonathan Majors is in this situation, doesn't look like Marvel has any interest in bringing him back, because if they did, they would not go to such an extreme move of bringing back Robert Downey Jr. and casting him as Doctor Doom. The movie was originally supposed to be called Avengers Kang Dynasty. Like, that was supposed to be Jonathan Majors' movie. And, you know, he does tell TMZ that he is heartbroken, that he loves Kang, but Doctor Doom is wicked. He even goes as far as to say that if Marvel comes back to him, his response would be, hell yeah, hell yeah. I love him, I love Kang. If that's what the fans want and that's what Marvel wants, then let's roll. Hell yeah. And again, I said I didn't think this was really that big of a news to talk about, other than, you know, Jonathan Majors actually addressing the fact Marvel replaced him. Like, I can't imagine seeing your job just float away in front of your eyes. But there's been enough people that have been coming at me with, like, Chris, Jonathan Majors said he'd come back, and with fans hating the Robert Downey Jr. situation, I think Kevin Feige's gonna bring him back. And look, it's been no secret, the Robert Downey Jr. as Doom news has been extremely divisive. I mean, there's been a couple of polls done on some popular movie sites, or I should say nerdy websites, like IGN held a poll and it was leaning towards the negative. Comicbookmovie.com also held their own poll, and the fans reacting negatively to this outweighed those being positive to it. So with all this negativity, do I think Marvel's gonna backtrack? No. I do think there maybe is gonna be like some slight adjustments made, and Kevin Feige is for sure going to take some of the criticisms into mind, but I mean, they've announced this. They're going strong with it. I don't think they're backing out from this plan, and hopefully they nail it. Because, you know, I completely understand the people upset by this, and in fact, there's a lot of great points being brought up on why this is a terrible idea, enough to where it's even made me question my slight excitement with it. But I think that just puts all the more pressure to get this performance right, to get this setup right. So no, I think even with the backlash going on with fans and the real hesitation that is for sure earned, I don't think Marvel's backing out. They're gonna see this through, and man, hopefully they make it work. Because if you just don't pull this off, which they already have a slim chance of, it's game over for Marvel for a while. But you guys see this. Jonathan Majors is heartbroken, feels bad. He would be down if they want. Do you think there's any real chance Marvel will take him back? I kind of doubt it. And now that enough time has passed, how do you feel about the controversy between the Robert Downey Jr. Dr. Doom casting? Anyways, guys, that is all movie news we currently have going on right now. I want to thank you so much for taking time my day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.